안녕하세요. Hi everyone, Kevin Cake here. So I would like to make the first part of the Adventures in the Orient series. If you recall, which you probably don't, I made a video, like it says 8th month. I uploaded it supposedly 8 months ago, according to YouTube. Because I went to South Korea during the summer, the one that like happened most recently. And I was going to make a series talking about what happened there, like epic encounters, but I didn't really continue it, so I decided to make more episodes. Alright, so let me show you the map. So we went from the United States of all goodness on earth. We went there. We went on a plane. We went to there. We didn't stop. Then somehow we managed to get over here by flying over the entire side of the map. I don't know how that works. I'm being sarcastic. And then we landed here in South Korea. Oh wait, frick. And we landed here in like freaking Incheon airport. So then we fricked around there. Then we took a train, went all the way down to like freaking Busan, and I think fricked around there for a bit. And I got to eat different soups. Some of them were kind of hot. So in South Korea, the further south you go, the spicier everything gets. So North Koreans, I think, are like traditionally they ate less spicy things, but they don't have food anymore. So then I went there and then fricked around a bit in like the southern part. Then eventually I went to Seoul. Had an epic time there. There was more American food there. At one point, like I just broke down and couldn't have any more Korean food because there doesn't seem to be any variation, like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Anyway, so that's a quick summary. And then so that was epic. But one of the earliest things that happened was on the train all the way from Incheon Airport down to So I was at the train, and then there's this woman who I think it was the same woman who spoke like freaking Chinese, Japanese, Korean, and English into a speaker. And I was like, oh my gosh, how the frick does she do that? I mean, there are people who speak like over 10 languages fluently, but yeah, it was still pretty epic. And there was like a little convenience store at like the train station, if you can call it, at the station. I got to see some soldiers that were moving around in the station. Like I went straight from the airport to the station. I'm pretty sure they're like connected somehow, or near each other. I forget. So then I went on it. So then I got on the train, and it was. I fell asleep, and I knew that I had some time, and I was woken up, and then I was still pretty tired, and it was hard to get back to reality, but I somehow managed to do it. And then I went to like the first hotel. And at some point, I think it was in the first day or two, I went into like a bathroom, and there was no. This is like a men's bathroom. There was no like toilet paper. I believe in any of the stalls. I know that crap like that happens in China, but I didn't think that it happens in South Korea. So that was pretty bad. It was just strange that there was like none. I was in South Korea for 11 whole days. It felt like I was there forever. But that'll be all for this episode of Adventures in the Orient. I'll talk about like further like more into my time there. But I would just like to say that I've heard it mentioned that foreigners have been stared at in Japan and South Korea. I was not stared at all. I don't believe. In in South Korea. A few times I thought someone was staring at me, but then I walk a little and they continue looking in the same direction, so they're not staring at me, or they just did a very good job of hiding it. Once there may have been someone staring at me. I was told by someone else that I may have been being stared at because I was like talking English, but I'm not. I wasn't really aware, so I don't think I was stared at all. Yeah. And then at one point I was just walking around in like the airport. I went to eat I went to eat at like this place they have called Loteria, because they have a essentially South Korea's version of Disneyland is called like Lotte Parks. Funny thing is Lotte actually comes from like the German version of Charlotte, which is Charlotte. Um, so yeah, they have Lotte World and whatnot in South Korea. But I went to a Loteria, which is like a burger place, and you know what they did, and this is I think this is like a nationwide thing. At times, they take hamburgers, and they put bulgogi sweet sauce all over it. I almost like had a heart attack when that happened. It was it was scary. Just bite into like a burger and you're like, oh yum, and then your taste buds are like overwhelmed with like sweetness, and then you're like, but at one point when I was walking around, either after or before eating there, I was afraid because like this was shortly after I'd landed, so I was afraid that I was gonna get stared at or something, or maybe even pointed at. But then, I mean that didn't happen, but in it, there was like like one black person and then two whites who were like talking loudly to each other. So I thought, all right, those three, and maybe anyone else should be enough to take all any attention off me. All right, camouflage successful. So I'll talk about more stuff in the next episode. I just remembered to say this. So in China, when blacks and whites go to China, you know what the locals do. If it's in a place, or I know at least for white people, when they go to China, if they go to a place that's like just kind of rural, people will get their phones, they'll put it right up in their face and take pictures, and they probably say onto their like Chinese ripoffs of American social medias like WeChat and whatnot, they'll be like, "Oh, foreigner came today," and and of course they always like film and take pictures of black people when they go to China, just because like even though they see like Africans and Europeans and Americans on news, I'm assuming they don't really. I guess it's just such an experience for them to see a real foreigner in China. Yeah,